So, has anyone seen The Play That Goes Wrong?
Yeah.
Comedy about bank robbery, Peter Pan Goes Wrong. So those shows are all farces. It's deliberately the stuff in that show goes wrong. So like it's breaking the fourth wall. So for example, if Peter Pan goes wrong, they have a narrator, and the narrator is sat in a chair that comes on stage, up down stage right, I think. And every time the narrator leaves, they throw glitter and disappear. That's meant to be a bang, but there's a running joke throughout that show where there's a running joke throughout the show where that always gets the timing wrong, so the bang and the glitter don't happen at the right time. And then there's one bit like towards the end of the show where the narrator's waiting for the cue to leave, and they just go, "Oh, glitter extravaganza," and they log all the glitter and run off. But with those shows, the bits of set disappearing, the actors are missing their lines, there's actors that are on like flyers and stuff that aren't working properly, so they're like slung around the stage. It's really clever, it's really funny. In order to take the piss out of the genre of theatre, they have to be experts at that genre, so they have to be able to do everything correctly so that they can do it wrong in a controlled way. So in order to do that, they've got some exercises and stuff to help actors and production crew focus on lots of things happening at once. Their shows are typically very chaotic. There's lots of stuff going on in terms of set pieces falling down, actors like suspended from rigging points and harnesses. They're chaotic shows, and they have to get actors used to chaotic work environments. And so Mark Bell, one of the founders of Mischief Theatre, he's a clown practitioner primarily. He has an exercise called Chaos, and I was really lucky in that I got to meet Mark and do this workshop with him and learn this exercise kind of from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So we're going to do a version of it. It differs based on every theatre company, so our version will be a bit different. The workshop I had with him was like 4 or 5 years ago now, so as we learn stuff, it kind of goes into your brain when it comes back out again and present it in a different way. So, I could teach you Stanislavski, or I could teach you Katie Mitchell, or Mike Alfred, or Declan Donovan. The way I teach it is going to be different to the way they've written it down, or the way they teach it in person. And that's just because I have my own way of interpreting information and then spitting it back out again. And then when you get it from me, if you ever teach this further down the line, or if you use it with a group, or you're rehearsing a project, the way you spit it back out again is going to be different from the way you hear it. And that's just part of that kind of communication. It's like Chinese whispers. But we can get the nuts and bolts of it, and we can understand why we use it, and that's what's important. So, you've noticed I've got some props here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish a couple of routines. Have I played Chaos with any of you before? No, don't know. So we're going to do a version of it today. It's going to have to change when other members join, because it depends on sequences. So could I get everyone to raise their hand, please? Raise their hand. So what I'm going to do, can we fill the circle as well? Out of the circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a waiter of the dish here. I'm going to walk to someone who's got their hand up. So I'm going to let them know that I've picked them by eye contact. So Phoebe in this case is going to take the dish from me, and then you're going to walk to someone else with their hand up and give them the dish, and then take their place in the circle. Through, you're going to get someone else with a hand up.
Oh, you did this without.
You're going to take the dish. And Mike, we're going to go to Faith. And Faith, because it's just me left now, we're going to come to me. Okay, we've got a sequence here. We're going to take my place in the circle. Very good. Very good. Okay.
We did it with the bowl last year.
Yeah. So again, over time it evolves and it becomes something different. And I like this character of a waiter in this one. This is fun. And we can do some fun stuff if we go on the journey. Okay, so it's right. slides. Is that the right
No,
order?
I don't think so.
You come to me, I think.
Yeah, Phoebe comes to
Yeah.
me.
Good, I'll take that. Let's just pause there for a second. And if I say shuffle as well, find a new place in a second. Shuffle. Keep it on the toes. Very good. Okay, so we've got our first sequence. Try and remember that. So the important thing we've got to lock onto, and this is a nightmare trying to do this level two, because more often, I'm not very good at following instructions sometimes. Not your group, actually. We've got our sequence there. The important thing to remember: who do you take the dish to, and who brings the dish to you. Those are the two things you need to remember. Those are your cues, if you like. If we were to kind of overlay this into a show context, those are the cues and so on. Okay, so next thing, we're all going to put our hands together. I'm going to start by saying I'm going to look at someone so that they know I'm sending it to them, and then I'm going to say my own name. Okay, so spike. And then in this situation, Mike is going to pick someone else that's not been, look at them, say pick someone that's not been. So through in this case, you're going to say your own name, Mike.
Mike.
Okay, so put your hand out so you know you've been. Through, you're going to. You look at me because you're the last one.
Phoebe.
Great. Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Good, good. So there's a unique, because of the makeup of this group, there's a unique challenge here. What is it? Can you spot it? Yeah, our name's rhyme. I've never done it before. I've never done this in my life before, so because we're the same in sequence about it, sounds sort of so just a small detail to be aware of. That could be so free, your cue is mine. So you've got to really listen to that detail. We've got to be able to pronounce the name clearly, otherwise free will get stuck. If she's not sure what she said, mine will spike. Yeah. So good. Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Spike.
Mike.
Phoebe.
Mike.
No. Yeah, shuffle. Okay, we've got two rules in the game now. We've got two sequences. It's already really hard. What's challenging? What's catching us out? Yeah, so part of this like depends on the rhythm. So it's like spike, Mike, free, Faith, Phoebe, spike, Mike, free, Faith.
Also the
Phoebe.
movement, are we following the original sequence?
Yeah, the original sequence is the same.
Okay, so you messed up.
You messed up. Okay.
You were supposed to give me the play, and she
So,
didn't.
there will be times in this where we get our cues wrong. There's times where we fail. It's okay to fail. Part of the fun of this is failure and enjoying the failure. And I don't like the word failure, but it's not. In shows, does it always go perfectly 100% of the time? No, we need to get used to the idea that at times things go wrong, and we need to be able to pick it back up again.
Just carry on.
And I'll be honest, until you brought that to my attention, I had no idea. So somehow it was covered. And I'm in the show, so if I didn't know that went wrong, you probably don't know that's gone wrong. I've been in shows, you've probably been in shows as well, where stuff's gone wrong that you've heard about through kind of dressing room chat rather than actually witnessing it on stage. So a lot of the time, you'll make a mistake on stage. People that you're in the show with aren't going to know, let alone the audience. Sometimes you have to explain afterwards, oh yeah, this because this happened. So that's going to happen, that's part of live theatre and live events generally. So remember that I said Phoebe.
Then you give it to me.
And then Mike, you give it to Faith.
Good, let's just embed this before we bring names back in. One more cycle. Yeah. Sometimes that's a really good way.
Mine was on autopilot.
Spike.
Mike.
Through. Faith. Phoebe.
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 Thank you. Okay, so 2 sequences. I think we're getting more confident with that now. And notice that, especially with the name, you can start to get a bit of a rhythm. And sometimes being quite focused on a show, it's quite useful to have a bit of a rhythm or a through line so that you can kind of, it grounds you a bit. And if you get that name sequence right, it kind of gives you a bit of a, it's like the lyrics in the song, it kind of keeps you knowing your place almost. Great, let's add in another rule. Got a notepad here. We're just going to pass this around the circle. Anti-clockwise. Spike.
Mike.
Through. Faith. Phoebe.
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 Spike.
Mike.
Through.
Cool, stop. Good. The one thing, with more people, it's easier in the sense, well, actually teaching it's harder, but in the sense of actually performing it's easier with more people. You're less busy, there's more people sharing the workload. So that's one thing, especially in a small theatre company, things get busy quickly. We've added 3 jobs and already we're feeling a bit stretched. What can we do to alleviate that, some of that? What's happening as we introduce those sequences? What's going on? What changes? More chaotic, yeah. Why?
Because we're doing multiple things at once.
Yeah, multiple things at once. As actors, do you need to be able to do multiple things at once? Yeah, so for examples, what we're doing, multiple things at a time. Go on.
Singing, dancing, moving set.
Singing, dancing, moving set maybe, if you're in a smaller company, definitely bringing props and stuff on.
Not doing action whilst doing dialogue.
Yeah, actions while doing dialogue, remembering like your quick change or your costume change or the bit where, yeah, listening for the cues. There's like loads of different processes happening in your brain at the time you're performing. And as an actor, you have to get comfortable with that because when you're performing, the audience, you don't want them to see that because otherwise it looks like you're actually performing rather than just being an actor in a normal way.
And in some cases, being able to close out the sound from the audience.
Yeah, because again, you've got, oh my god, there's an agent in who's watching today, or there's a reviewer, and there's or maybe just some friends and family who, they're seeing you, a piece of work with your panel for the first time. It adds a bit of pressure, another kind of process that you're thinking about at that time. So as an actor, you kind of got to get used to that, or as a performer, you've got to get used to that so that you can handle that and perform under pressure. Because like you said, it's getting chaotic, it's getting, the pressure is intensifying as we add more things. And this is a really good exercise for kind of highlighting that, and then what can we do to help alleviate that, control it, because we can't necessarily take away your choreographer, we can't take away the producers and noise, we can't always take away the amount of lines from today and the quick change in that too. We've got to figure out a way of managing those that's effective. So with that in mind, what can we do to make this easier to manage?
Help each other.
Yes.
Slow some things down.
Yeah, absolutely. You find when you're under pressure, when you're panicking, you start to rush things become quicker. And I don't know why that is. It's like I think it's a biological fight or flight response.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the flight kind of kick in and go, I just need to get rid of this, or
It's like a reflex.
and actually, what that's, it is, and what that's doing is that's passing that pressure to the next person. So if I just, Phoebe, I take you to the dish, if I'm rushing to get the book and I just kind of launch this into me, I'm setting you up to have a difficult time, so use your judgment. If I see the actor that I'm in a scene with is struggling to get their trousers on backstage, I might just slow my delivery down a bit to buy them some time. You can do those practical things to help when those situations occur. You might slow down the scene, or if you're noticing that something isn't, the lighting fixtures at work here and there, and the spotlight you're meant to stand in isn't there, you might just have to move and stand somewhere where you are on tonight. It's not ideal, but sometimes you've got to come up with those workarounds. You've got to circumvent the situation. So
Someone forgets their line, for example.
yeah,
Help.
people forget their lines all the time. Being able to bridge that gap. There's going to be gaps in live performance. Obviously, the more you know material, the less likely that is. But actually being able to pick that back up if you drop the ball. Well,
I think a good example was in 2 when the 2 bartenders, they kept skipping over the script and then they went right back to where they needed to be.
and because of their knowledge of the material, especially by the end, if they did drop the ball, which did happen occasionally, able to pick it back up.
And no one knew that was not
Yeah.
happening.
First, in the murder mystery, where you were really struggling with standing on the chair and shouting and stuff, and forgetting of it, and I was just like, don't worry, if you do, then I'll just come in.
I actually have proof of that. So when you're working on something for so long, and then obviously you get all the lines in your head. I don't know if there's anyone else, but me personally during acting and stuff, I also found that I've got other people's lines in my head.
Yeah.
So in the murder mystery, Charlotte I think matched up, and she looked at me, and I mouthed her line to her, and it picked her back up.
Yeah, so you can do those things. And we all have anecdotes from projects that we've done where we've had to kind of use this already, this muscle. For me, there was a show that I worked on once called Ivanhoe, and in the opening scene of the play, my character was supposed to bring out an urn with the grandma in. His grandma, but it's a dark comedy. Then the flatmate comes in and says to the character I was playing, he's still mourning over the urn, he's still holding onto the urn. He's kind of taking the mick out of it a bit. Anyway, the opening scene of the show, I walked on, and I sit down in the chair I really sit on, and then I realise that I've not brought the urn on stage. And I had this moment, I'm on stage in front of the audience already, the lights are about to come up, and I don't have the key prop that ties the scene together. Luckily, the guy playing the other character sees me do this, runs backstage to the dressing room where the urn is, and brings it out on stage, and we cover it. It's not the best, and it was the biggest blunder I could have made. I was so worried about, again, thinking about multiple things at once. I'm worried about the lines, I'm worried about some of the set changes, I'm worried about my costume changes. At the time I was doing a different show the night before, so I was flipping between different scripts as well. So I had loads of lines in my head and loads of different show tracks. So I think it was inevitable that I was going to drop the ball somewhere. It just happened to be that critical show leader. Luckily, if you have the right people around you, it can support you through that. So back to this game. If, for example, let's pass the notepad around. Should we start passing that around? Here it is. If, for example, I go to, like, say, Faith has just walked off with the plate, I'm not going to panic sling this to free. If, you know, we might be in a place where I can reach you, but I could just slow down and wait for the person who's going to take Faith's place to arrive and then just give it to them. So you.
I was going to say, there's another thing to do. If like Mike had like the two of the props at once, if I had the notepad and he had the plate and he's coming towards me, I give him the notepad and I go off of the plate.
Yeah. And sometimes it will go wrong, and it's covering it as well. So you know, it might be that you just give the plate to the wrong person. If I give this to Frida instead of Phoebe, the best thing for Frida to do is just go to where she wants to go with the plate.
Give it to the person that she can't give it to.
Yeah, and then it just resets and we're back in. Same with the names. If the notepad ends up going the wrong way, or the notepad gets dropped on the floor, just pick it up and carry it. That's all it is.
But Mike, if you are in the situation where you have both props again, give the notebook first, because that's only going around the circle. You're physically moving with the plate.
If you end up with two things at once, what's most urgent? You can get rid of this job quite quickly. It's just a pass on. If you wanted to, you could. If you've got both at once and you're in panic, just go to give the plate to the person and carry on with it. Because sometimes you get given something from this side and given something from this side, and you kind of go, oh, you have that moment. I've got both things. Just own it. Yeah. Great. Let's pass this around. Spike.
Mike.
Crew. Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew.
Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew. Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew. Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew.
Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew. Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew. Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew. Faith.
Spike.
Mike.
Crew. Faith.
Spike. Cool, stop that. Very good, very good. That's more controlled. Yeah.
I was just going to take it off.
Why did you give the plate to Mike?
Did I give the plate to Mike?
I was just like, oh
Did I have a dish as well? Did I have both things at the same time?
no, I think you gave the notebook, but you literally had the plate and you went to Mike, and I was like,
It was like as Mike was getting the notebook.
oh yeah.
It's this thing behind, isn't it? You have to get
But good
Yeah.
on Good on Mike.
But then what did Mike do?
Mike went to. Wait, who did you go to?
He went to me. And he
Great.
put it on the plate.
So
even though Spike messed up, you still get
I
like
didn't even realise that I made that mistake. So if I had not realised and the company's carried on, are the audience going to know?
No.
So we demonstrated then how it's okay to mess up. It's how we can respond to that, how we pick the ball back up. Great, let's grab another thing. There's a limit to what I'm going to be able to do here because of the numbers we have. I think when I did this in that workshop with Mark, it was probably 11 or 12, maybe a bit less than that, maybe 8 or 9. I think it was about 9 of us. And I think we had 10, 11, 12, maybe 13 rules going by the end. So with more people that becomes easier to facilitate, and it does get absolutely crazy. But we'll add another thing in to see how it goes. We'll test our limits of company, how much can we handle as a cohort of 5. Okay? So let's start with, it's nice to introduce all of the tasks kind of gradually, just so we get them established. So we'll start with the simplest one. We're going to pass the notebook round. Okay, the cup that I'm holding in my left hand is just going to go around the other way. Okay, let's bring the dish in. Okay, what's good? Let's open set plan. I think
That already got too much.
it's an headfirst. If we open set plan, in theory, it takes longer for the object to move around, which gives us some more time to think. And also, one thing I've noticed with the objects going around both left and right, can I have this a second? So this is going this way around. So just lock in now that you're always passing the notepad to the person to your right. So let's just keep going. Keep it going. And the mug or the cup is always going to the left. And let's bring in the dish. Good, stop. And what happened there?
Something, it was either the notepad or the cup.
So it's like going the wrong way.
They
I
are
mean,
going in the same way.
yeah, so what was it? So cup to the left and then cut to the right. And I noticed you caught earlier on, you saw it, and I saw you kind of
So you gave me the cup.
Yeah, I was so confused because I was like, why
You
is the
made me do
notepad
it
cup?
right, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, give it back to you. It's like the middle there.
why is that happening? What is it practically that we're doing?
I think because we're all thinking about the notepad, we're also thinking about the cup at the same time, so it starts going.
Yeah. So
It's the same motion. So
those two things interfere with each other, don't they?
So I think passing the notebook to the right and then passing the cup to the left, that's fine. It's just when we have to start moving that we lose.
Yeah, because so suddenly, if I have the dish and I walk to, I'll just for this example, I'll go through it, it's more clear. Suddenly, my right and left, when I move across the table, is inverted, because I'm facing the wrong way out. So then, if you get here, and you then immediately take an object, your brain is still thinking right and left is the same way as it did over there, especially if you've just been facing this way. So you turn around, you take the object, you're suddenly like, oh, left and right, left and right, left and right. So there is that moment when you transverse our circle that you have that the left and right have to recalibrate. So with that in mind, and I can't remember the original way that the stuff's going. So cut to the left.
That's the right, that's the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you do to remember that? Cut to the left, book to the right. You write on a book.
Right on the book.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's do it. maybe we start. We change the. Let's start with the names, and then we'll bring in the play, and then the left and right. Okay. We seem to be good at names in the play. It's these two things that are now causing us a sort of short circuit. Also, we're losing our waiter. You know. I feel like I'm panic, but the restaurant's getting busy. We've gone for a Michelin star. Let's finesse our dish. Are we ready? Pause, I've got my idea.
Oh God!
I hate my network works.
Network works. Network works.
You're gonna put the music so you can
Yeah, I
do
will,
the
but-
rhythm.
I like famous Josh did.
You look at your hair. I swear you will not that like it.
It's the summer. You know, blonde
Cool, you
summer of the sun makes that lighter.
Sonia and Fruit
Apparently
are the
you
exact
haven't
same. Sonia and Fruit are the exact same thing yesterday.
Really?
And I think Spikey was at the same thing.
Oh, I just feel like you dyed your hair. Like if you want to look like her. It looks nicer. If it was if you done something to it or the sun.
Thank you, I will take it.
Just take it. Oh, way to move it.
Enjoy the music as well as we're waiting. Spike.
Fine.
Say, Phoebe.
Oh yeah, not bad trees, not bad trees.
Versus being a third.
Oh, pass that.
Spike.
Mike.
Hey, Phoebe.
Tant qu'on se sera pas enlacé, tant qu'on se sera pas embrassé, là là et là,
Spike.
on saura pas. Tant qu'on n'aura pas fait la
Mike.
parler jusqu'au petit jour de toi, de moi,
Hey,
on
Phoebe.
saura pas. Et tant qu'on n'aura pas vécu sous le même toit, les petits matins au quotidien, on saura pas. Tant qu'on n'aura pas pris la bouche pour 3 fois rien de poil dans
Good,
le
pause, pause, pause. Very good, very good. We're handling it better. It's getting there on the stage, but we're getting there. One more rule to say. Look at having a new object to handle that tool. Could you choose your dominant hand? So who's right-handed? Who's left-handed?
I'm both handed.
So which is better?
I'll say my right.
Your right is better. So your right hand, if your right hand dominant, behind your
I
back.
knew it.
Oh, God's sake.
I'm a bit ambitious as well, so I go for a right because that's my right hand. So we'll introduce each component 2 seconds ago. Remember, we're in a French festival, so we can put French inflection in the name. Really,
I don't know.
I'm shocking accents, so. I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, I noticed sometimes you say other people's names, if they use that key, sometimes it helps to like, give it a little bit of time, if they're really busy with something else, do their job for them. Help them out. There's a point over there where I have all the things manual at the same time, and I've got help with therapy, I'll still put them in.
That's why I'm now free.
Freebie.
Free. I'm like, free. You're not free. Free.
Goodbye.
Are we ready? Just sit better than you have. Let's start with the names, and then the play, and then the objects will get. It's going to be interesting to hold them both. Can I just put you down?
Michel.
Ma chambre a la forme d'une cage. Le soleil passe son bras par la fenêtre.
Michel.
Les chasseurs m'apportent comme les petits soldats qui veulent me prendre.
Michel.
Je ne veux pas travailler, je ne veux pas déjeuner, je veux seulement oublier et puis je fume. Déjà j'ai connu le parfum de l'amour,
Michel.
un million de roses ne parlerait pas autant. Maintenant une seule fleur dans mes entourages me rend malade. Je ne veux pas travailler, je ne veux
Michel.
pas déjeuner, je veux seulement oublier et puis je fume. Je ne suis pas
Michel.
fière de ça, oui, qui veut me tuer. C'est magnifique, être sympathique.
step in. We're handling it. We've got the music, we've got both things happening, we've got the names on the page. This is very good. What have you learned some things after you've been doing this that can help you? Just things that you've been doing together. Because there's some things that I found that made it easy for me.
Mine is to write on the note pad, and also just knowing who's before me.
Yeah,
And who I'm going through.
yeah, right on the you write on the next possibility, right, that's helped me. The thing that I realised that if the plate and an object comes to me once, I just ignore the object. I just found if I ignore, and every time I've done that, I've walked to the circle of the plate. If I was walking down the map, someone else has stood there and dealt with the issue. Yeah, and I was going to pick that out, and that was a really good shout. So at one point, Faith was going through the play, she noticed that I was doing like name and a couple of the objects at the same time. So she got to me and went, "Oh, you busy? I'm just going to do this." And then by the time she was done with that, the performance, it was much easier for me to handle that strategy. So yeah, we're already kind of bringing in little things that help each other out. This is all part of collaborating effectively. You want, as a company, we have a common goal. We want a show to succeed. We want it to be the best version of itself. And to do that, we need to give each other the best chance of success. So if that involves a 12, it gives you some time. If that involves slowing down the game or reminding someone what their line is in the show, that's all really helpful. I was going to say something else as well. Go on. But yeah, I love this game because it really highlights how effective collaboration can be used in a company. And again, as an actor, you're going to have to think about lots of things at once. And this is a good way of seeing that quite a raw war. What we have to do next time we do this, we'll use this exercise a lot at the start, which is a really good way to mentally switch on. It's good in a company when you have the same people because you can build up those sequences. So if it's going to be us again tomorrow or next week, we already have this stuff down. We can start adding to it. By the end of our creative process, we have loads of these sequences happening at the time we can handle. The more we do it, the more confident we get as well. It's the same with rehearsal. We rehearse this, we get stronger and we get more confident. The thing is, when we start to add in people who aren't here today, it's very difficult to drop people into this because we can tap them onto the end of the name sequence, but then who's the last sentence? Yeah, so rather than me listening to Phoebe, I'm listening to Fran and Thomas. So my cue is going to change, the actual cue. Obviously, we're going to make that work. It's a good example of how members of the company are reliant on the other people as well. Cool. It looks quite close to when I was going to do rest. French music playing. Good. Any questions in regards to that stuff? We can understand its use and its benefit. It's a good one, again, to start the rehearsal, to kind of get switched on with it. It's a good focus exercise. When I teach this to level 2, it's less about companies handling like multiple things and stressing you out as actors and putting you under pressure. It's more about just doing it as a focus exercise. In this context, we can use it in a bit more of a detailed and focused way. And with level 2, that would be the limit of where I take it with you guys. So if we add the people that are missing stay into the sequence, get confident with that, we'll see if we can add more and more rules to it. And also, what I like about it is the rules can be completely made up. Like I didn't come in here today knowing that I was going to have a paper plate. I didn't come in here knowing that I was going to have a cup or a notepad. I went out there, I found 3 things that were smaller we could hold, and those are the things that came out of the room. So again, from that, there was never any intention of French music or the French waiter or it having a French undertone, but suddenly from just an object, stimulus, which we'll talk about when we get to devising, we've had some quite interesting kind of, I mean, we're playing to caricature the stereotype of the French waiter, but there's an interesting, scene here if you wanted to explore this further. If you had a scene in a French restaurant, rather than say, can you play waiter in a French restaurant, we could play this game, bring out those characters, and then go from there. Specifically with Wise Children, or Henry Rice's theatre company, this sort of exercise would deliver to us some of the ideas and the inspiration that we need. And when we start bringing our source material, our reference material, Charles Dickens, into this, we could create characters in this space, or we could do this exercise as the characters we're playing in the show. And then you can see that character then handle pressure, and how would they handle it as Ebenezer Scrooge, as Tiny Tim, etc. So yeah, it's a good one. Let's take a break, because the next thing we're going to start is going to be it's going to be a bit different, and I feel like we should have a break before we move on. Just so you know what's coming today, so you've got an idea, I'm going to get us to do a read-through of the novel, or the novella. So have a look at kind of how long it takes to read Charles Dickens, or the original text for A Christmas Carol. We've got copies of it for everyone, and we're going to read it and add some rules in like this, just to get an idea of, so we're all on the same page about our source material, what it is we're working from. That being said, I'm not going to have we'll have some chairs just in case we want to sit down and have a rest, but in the same way that you've been like taking this game and putting your own kind of creative energy into that, the read-through can happen the same vein if you want to like walk around and deliver it as a character. So we're going to do that. That's going to be I want to talk a bit about devising when we come back from break. But then after we've covered a bit of background, we'll start getting at that source text and getting an understanding of what that's about. You'll find again with lots of devising theatre companies, the actual understanding of the source material is really important as a starting point. As a company, we need to be grounded in using the same thing. And we can look at different reference points. We can look at the Muppets version of The Christmas Carol. We can look at the film from the 50s. There's lots of different versions. It happened on stage and screen film. I know someone's kind of touched on a few of those this week. And you are, I'd encourage you to go and look at those as well. But if we all have the original Charles Dickens text as our base of operation, I think we'll all kind of have the same understanding of it. And in our read-through, we'll look at highlight characters, events, places, and anything else important in there. We'll have a kind of a job as well as reading that we'll do. Any questions? It should take I know the idea of reading a whole book today sounds a bit scary. It's a novella, so it's a bit longer than a short story, but it's still readable within 2 to 3 hours, depending on the pace at which you read it. It might roll over into next week, but and we'll keep it interesting. We'll add in some games and some rules to it, so it's not just sat down and reading a book. Okay. Also, narrators are really cool in shows. I love theatre companies that use narrators. Mischief use narrators. Wise Children use narrators. They're a really good framing device. I'll talk about framing device later on. And we can get a sense of what that might feel like.